team. So you would find that there is almost a 50-50 balance between the male and the female in the management team at LSCTF. So in terms of lifting up the next generation of women, what I would like to say is, I'll start off by saying that we may have heard this quote: we rise by lifting others up. So in the context of this year's International Women's Month theme, which is break the bias, and in terms of lifting up the next generation of women, what I tried to do was to start by asking myself, what does this mean? Specifically to me now, not any other person, but to me, Ivade Akbede, what does lifting other women up mean? So what it means is that I'll be very intentional in coaching and mentoring women within my sphere of influence, whether at church, whether at work, whether people have met through friends or acquaintances, or through the various organizations that I do work to be very aware of, especially as women, and which we need to always not have any unconscious bias. I was also one of those who I started, when I was pregnant for my first child, I was also very intentionally about not checking the gender before, because I wanted the pleasant surprise of having a baby, and it didn't matter to me what gender. So I was one of those that didn't want to shop. I know some people do it because they want to shop cheaper for the blues or the pinks, and it was also a root shock when I went to the stores and in the US, and babies are us for that matter. And I found that those that were neutral colors, like the greens and the yellows, were a lot more expensive than those that were blues and pinks, for exactly the same kind of outfit, just because of the color. You're having at that time, over 10 years ago, about $5 more. And I was like, hope I didn't make a mistake. So you see how sometimes society even forces us to have some biases, which we need to be sure that we find a way to break in models. It also means that when you're a good role model, you have to be a person of character. You have to be a person that has values, especially when no one is looking. When there is knowing who you are, really, is very important, whether you're in the public eye or you're in a private space. It also means for me specifically that I need to speak up for others when I'm in the room, when I have the opportunity, especially when they are not there to speak for themselves. And I think this should not be restricted to just the women in the room. We should be willing and able to speak for whoever needs to be spoken for, whether or not they are female or not. I do not buy the idea of, because we need to support each other as women, then we do that at the detriment of the men folk, because we all have our roles to play in society. So my question to all of us today as men, and then maybe for the men in our midst, is what is holding us back? I would start by saying that we should all know.
Sorry, Bade. I think Grace. Please, could you mute? There's interference from Grace. There's been a lot of interference from Grace Bajoa. Okay, thank you.
I think she's me. It's the next generation of women. That means there should be nothing holding us to soar, to rise above any sort of challenges. So I'll start by saying that, do we know that we are leaders, irrespective of where we find ourselves? And leadership, according to dictionary, is to lead a group of people. It could be a mother with children and domestic staff, even at work, even when you do not have.
I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you. Yeah. I'm doing it now.
Hello everyone.
Let us school for that matter, not that university or an MBA class of LBS. We had some men derogatorily call that incident breaking the bias. So you can imagine the insult. Some of us did the right thing by calling it out, which, was very important. And thankfully we got the apology. But it also reminded me that our actions as women have an impact on the next generation of women. It is not to scare us, but it is to make us appreciate the enormous sense of responsibility that has been placed on our shoulders. Therefore, as women, we're intentional about our actions, knowing that they impact not only us or our direct circle of influence, but also others. So I felt can we mute
Surprise interference? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I felt it was important in talking about the generation of women to look at some areas for self-reflection. And the first is that we should never doubt our capabilities. We should not let the much talked about imposter syndrome limit us in any way. And an Harvard Business Review article defines imposter syndrome as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. Unfortunately, it disproportionately affects high-achieving people. So if you've ever had to deal with this, do not think that you are alone. It is something that affects women, especially because we find it difficult to accept our accomplishments. As a result, many of us question whether we are deserving of whatever accolades that we get. I have first-hand experience about this. And the one I would like to share today has to do with my MBA program at LBS, which by the way, I graduated as the best graduating, but I never for one day felt I was deserving of it, because even for the first 4 semesters, if I remember correctly, it wasn't the to be, or that it was something that had to be, was a do or die. It was never a do or die. Somehow I felt that, okay, based on the work I had put in, I may end up being the best female in the class, but I never for 1 second thought I would be the best in the class. So you can also see I had an unconscious bias against myself. And even when I ended up being the best in class, I still felt that other people deserved it more. Some of them were even people who taught me. If they didn't teach me during, lectures or classes before the exams, maybe I wouldn't have done what I did, right? So I wouldn't have gotten what I got. But it took 2 women, 2 sisters, to assure me that they didn't participate in class for you. You did it by yourself. You were able to combine everything and still do well. So you deserve to be the best graduating. So it's very important us that to be able to leave the next generation of women, that we are willing and able to form a sisterhood that can help other women. It's very important. So my advice would be the best you can be, and be confident that no matter the outcome, good or bad, that you are deserving of it, and that you are truly deserving of your success if you succeed. So one of the successful women of our time is Jacinda Ardern, who is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. And she has this to say. She said she questioned her ability constantly, whether or not she could take on roles that people challenged her to take on. And that she sees this kind of self-doubt in other women. And that it makes her think that it's not just her own personality, that there is something about our level of confidence as women. And then she went on to say that, that old cliche around seeing a list of traits that you need to, and you only see that you have rather than the ones you do. And then she said for women, she thinks it's absolutely true. I remember during the panel session, this was mentioned. I think it was Clara or someone else, if I'm not mistaken, where she said that sometimes, right, we women, we want to know everything. We want to over-prepare. It's something that is a distinctly female trait. I don't know if it's a good thing, so it's something that we need to be mindful of. But it didn't stop Jacinda from achieving great things. So again, let us be willing and to do whatever we need to do, even if we have to do it afraid. The second point for self-reflection today is, can other women see in you a mentor? Can they trust that you will give them opportunities, not just because of their gender or your friendship with them, but because they are competent? Again, I remember from the panel session, someone talking about this when she said that you should be able to, I think it was the moderator, when she said that be willing to share your opinion in a room. And if somebody has a better argument and peradventure the person is a man, don't take it too hard on yourself. It's a superior argument, not because the person is male and you are female. It's just what it is. So can people trust you to give them constructive feedback on areas for improvement? The third point is, are you the woman that loves to criticize other women? Sometimes, and for a lot of times, for flimsy reasons, like they are too fat or too slim, too pretty, too ugly, too loud, too quiet. I mean, it sounds very, very like, what's that about? But if we must be honest with ourselves, sometimes we women do such. Do we judge women by what they have or do not have, whether they wear designer labels or not, whether they wear bone straight hair or not? I hope I'm not shaking any tables today. Sometimes these are unconscious biases and we do not know when they creep in, but we need to tell ourselves that, like I think it was Daphne that said so, be ready to call yourself out. And you need to call yourself out if you realize those things. That requires you to be self-aware, like she said. The fourth point is, do we unconsciously promote biases? The mothers in the room, do we see our daughters and sons as equals? Do we allow the boys to do domestic chores? Or are we one of those that say, leave him, he's a boy? Again, Dr. Bilola's comments about her parents comes to mind. If we do this, we should know that we're unknowingly subjecting our girls, who are the future generation of women, to low self-esteem and inferiority complex. We must always remember that we have a huge role to play in women having the same opportunities as boys. So what are my recommendations as we work towards lifting the next generation of women? The first is that we should speak the truth, especially when it is difficult, especially in a country like Nigeria, where it's easy to make money through dishonest means, because honesty is closely linked with having a good character and with integrity. The second is that we should strive for excellence at whatever role or task we are faced with. Julia Gillard, the first and only female Prime Minister of Australia to date, said that what she's absolutely confident of is that it will be easier for the next woman and the woman after that, and the woman after that, just because of the height she has attained and that she's proud of that. So sometimes we may not get all the accolades as women, but know that by showing up every day, you're making it easier for the next woman. And I appreciate every woman here on the call, because that is what you're doing when you show up each day. Miss Salami, this is to officially tell you that I admire you greatly because of the many things you do, a lot of the hats that you have to put on. And this is from the bottom of my heart, because by doing this, you are paving the way, making it easier for a lot of other women. So the third thing is that don't give excuses or attribute your challenges to being a woman, because it is all too easy to tell yourself that you cannot be great or achieve some feats because you're a woman. Sometimes we like to even hear women are the weaker sex. We like to hear that, oh, because like they said during the other panel session, doesn't the woman know that what it means to go through labor? And I can just tell you that I have a colleague in the office, one of my male colleagues that reports to me, and he said he wants his wife to stop working because she's pregnant. And I said, no, that's a bad mistake. Pregnancy is not a disease. If she does not need to through medical advice, stay at home, she has no business staying at home. She should work till she's 9 months. I can tell you that I have gotten promoted while pregnant. So pregnancy, it is not and would never be a disease. So while in the areas of physical strength, men have some advantages, but intellectually, we have about the same capabilities. So we should always strive for success no matter what. And when we fall short, because failure is part of success, we should learn to evaluate our performance in an objective manner. Theresa May, who is the second female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, after the popular Margaret Thatcher, right, has this to say. She said that it was tempting to say, if she lost, that they didn't want a woman. But she actually said to herself, she must properly analyze her performance. Was there a particular subject she didn't know enough about? Were there questions she didn't answer very well? Was her presentation as good as it could have been? Rather than just saying, well, obviously I'm a woman and that's why I didn't get it. So the fourth recommendation is that we should be willing to make sacrifices for causes that we believe in. And this, a lot of times, requires us taking the road less traveled. And so using my personal experience again, I've taken on a lot of unpaid coaching and mentoring work for small business owners. And I found out that my weekends are as busy and sometimes even busier than my weekdays. I'm either facilitating a session, attending meetings or sessions. As a matter of fact, I was chatting with a male friend last Saturday, and my exact words to him were, I work a lot harder than my husband, but he's a lot richer than me. And his response was, do not worry, you get your reward in due time. I say a big amen to that, but I can tell you too, for a fact, that I get fulfillment from those activities.
Amen, buddy. Amen.
That money cannot provide. And trust me, by doing this, I know I'm paving the way for the future generation of women, and I want us to have that mindset. So whether we like it or not, we are role models to other women, especially the younger generation, and it is in our collective best interest to actively mentor younger women, including those in the university, including our children, our neighbors' children, any woman we find around us, including from the cradle. Let us get involved in activities that help young women become a better version of themselves, so that by doing this, let us know that we are helping the next woman have a seat at the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I had to go off because we had network issues, but I was able to meet up with some of the conversation. And of course, when you were given the last point you were giving, which are your recommendations, that's where I met it. But we sincerely apologize for going off because we had to sort the network issues. And you've spoken really well. You've spoken about the fact that women need to go out there and do more. Women need to create opportunities for themselves and of course for others to thrive. And you also gave the point that don't give excuses. I think a lot of us sit on this excuse issues when we want to do things like, I really can't do it. I don't have enough strength. I'm a woman, like you said. Some people give that excuse. No, I don't have that strength. I'm a woman. But because of the fact that we want to break the bias, we want to have that equal level. What you think a man is doing, if you know you have the capacity, the ability to go ahead and do more, how about you do that and prove that point that what a man can do, a woman can actually do better. And you also talk about be willing to make sacrifices. Some people are not ready to do that. Some people are just going to leverage on the fact that, no, I can't inconvenience myself in order to please someone else. I can't inconvenience myself in order to create an opportunity for someone else to do better. So I'm just going to live within the confine of my comfort and just be me, be contented with what I want. It's just me. So if I can achieve what I want, then they're fine with it. But with the point you've given, you've opened our eyes to say that we need to create opportunities, not just for us, for those around us, and of course, for the next generation that would hear about your name, that would hear about our name and be able to be thankful that this person took that next step and is able to create that opportunity. So thank you for your speech. It's really mind-blowing. Though I met it halfway, but then it's really mind-blowing. And thank you, Mrs. Saudat, for holding up, for being the host for my session. Thank you very much, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the profile of Priska Atta. Okay, all right, so we're supposed to take Cherry. Cherry for spoken word. I don't know if Cherry is here right now. Cherry. Hi, Cherry.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you were supposed to. Hi, you were supposed to come up before the session, but because of the interruption we had, that's why Genevieve asked to come on board. But right now, if you're ready, please let's have your spoken word before we continue with the session.
All right, thank you very much. I'm actually at work. I'm a dentist, so I'm at work and I had to come in here. My name is Cherry EnterpriseCEO. I am a poet, a rapper, and a dentist, and I'm glad definitely to be here. So the title of my poem is 21st Century Woman. Here it goes. First century, alone, under hot blazing sun, through stones, bleeding feet, and an army of murderers behind me, I ran. I ran behind Christ to save me from the consequences of an act we both did. 5th century, the bloodiest gladiator had us. We were just property. Early 19th century, we had no For us, absolutely nothing was left. We were under this dark for far too long. We began to breathe underwater, see with closed eyes, feel without contact, and we evolved. My name is Cherry, and I am a 21st century woman. Now I wake long before them, speak with my creator, visit the yoga, do the yoga, visit the ground, paint my nails, fix my meal, maintain my hairdo. And baby, I'm on stilettos, because I am the boss. Yes, we built our own class, learned to deal with all the mess, fought our ways through those walls, and there it was. Life spread out like a sheet of an ocean. We began to explore. I rock from my lips to my hips, my thoughts to my eyes. My style is adorned with so much grace. I am strong. I can take anything if I have to. I am resilient. I am incandescent. I am a woman. And when the time is right, I'll choose myself a good man. I'll fill him with my peace and care, because love, it grows right inside of me. With him, I'll be patient. It's insight. I'll forgive all your follies. It's superiority. But if you dare pull his taunts, you better be ready to deal with the girl you awoke. My name is Cherry Enter, and I am a 21st century woman, phenomenally. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. I think if any one of us have not heard so much about being an amazing woman, being that woman that breaks bias, I think with all that we've heard this morning, it's enough to push us, it's enough to move us, it's enough to motivate us to be that person that you are, that original you, that original person that God has created you to be. But because we think we have biases, we have hindrances, we have things that are just holding us back, we try to just lay back and not come out to our full potential. But today, with this conference, with this seminar, it's enough to open up our minds and our hearts for us to go all out there and do what we have to do. Ms. Aldas, I think you have something to say about this before we go ahead.
First of all, I don't want Cherry to go because we need to take pictures with that beautiful dress she's wearing. Can we have another round of pictures as well? Cherry, please move back, move back, move back. We need to see that dress.
Okay.
That dress needs to show. Okay, ladies, can we all put on our video if you can right now? We need to show this Cherry's dress. Please, just put on your video a bit. Amalade, we need the baby again. Aike, we need that baby again. Please, everybody, baby, show it. This is a women event. All my events, there's always a section for women with babies. Anybody that has attended any of my workshop, you will see babies somewhere. They are welcome. So please, if you have any baby, don't go and borrow baby. Don't borrow your neighbor's baby. Show your baby. Show your video. Enterprise, take that video. Screen grab, ladies, screen grab and share on your WhatsApp. Page 1, page 2 of this. We need the baby. Before Cherry goes, our dear dentist, there used to be a dentist and a rapper at one time. I can't remember his name. We had a dentist and a rapper. Anybody that remembers the name, please type in the chat room. Okay, ladies, smile, smile. I need your teeth. Please pretend small that you're having fun. One more. Enterprise, I hope you are taking these pictures. Though.
Are you taking pictures?
Take the picture, show your video if you can, even if you are driving, even if you are in the kitchen. I mean, this is virtual. We expect you to be there. Don't show bathroom. Oh. Don't show bathroom. Smile. Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready for Dio.
Yes.
Timmy, is Dio with us?
Yes,
Cherry, thank you so much. Cherry,
Thank you.
Thank you. You can now run off and pull someone's tooth.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it. Now let's move on to our next panelist, which is Priska Atta. I will be taking her profile before she comes on. Priska Atta is the MD CEO of Platinum Crest Global, a high net worth individual-focused real company with a vision to revolutionize real estate service through superior consultancy and other concierge services for top-notch individuals in Nigeria and abroad. Priska is a graduate of the University of Lagos with a second-class upper bachelor's degree and has a series of professional certifications and training from reputable institutions that include certificate in entrepreneurial management from the Lagos Business School, a sales and marketing placement at the London Academy Business School. Also, beyond her professional accomplishments, Priska is passionate about contributing to our community through development, welfare, and health projects. She is the immediate past president of JCI Ikoyi and a JCI senator. Please, a round of applause as we welcome Priska this morning. Hi, Priska. Hello, Priska.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to
good morning.
Enterprise.
Good afternoon.
Yes, it's afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Thank
All right,
you.
so our session, we're looking at evaluating and advancing gender parity in workplace and also celebrating women forging innovation in a changing world. Now, how does gender parity affect a woman's productivity at work? That's where I'm starting off.
Okay, thank you very much for having me today. I've been having fun. I've learned a lot from the ladies here. So first and foremost, this is not a topic I really like talking about because one, I see myself first as a human, not necessarily as a woman. So I really do not recognize gender parity biases, but then again, I'm empathic about how a lot of women are, caught in this web of comparison, really. So for me, I always believe that we have the same 24 hours, and if God himself has made us women and nurture us, it's because he feels or he thinks, he knows that we have the capacity to, as women, still meet all our expectations and still do well in the room with men. So I haven't really seen myself being at a disadvantage next to the man. And maybe I've been lucky enough to also work with a lot of men, but I don't always see myself as the weaker person or the weaker sex or the person that needs so this and this privilege. And maybe because I also started off life very early, getting married while in school, having my children and going on youth service with babies and still be in the business that is considered to be male dominated. But I still do not look forward to me being considered as that weak person that necessarily needs to be given some kind of pity party. So for me, we are very equal. But that being said, as women, there are so many women that are caught in that web of gender issues and self-pity and biases. I do not really recognize those biases, but I also recognize the fact that there are a lot of women that need that liberation to the level of self-awareness. And for us as women, it is my advice always to see that you encourage the next woman that is caught in that web of self-pity, of comparison, of the feeling of inadequacy. It is well recognized. Let's please all recognize that, but help the next woman, the next girl, the next sister to, to first of all get into that unconsciousness, to delete some kind of settings, some negative programming that has been deposited there, maybe right from time even before they were born, maybe because of also our culture, where we are coming from. There are some negativity that has been deposited into our subconscious without us even necessarily knowing it. There's this, oh, you're a boy, I'm a girl issue that comes up. In my family, I have 4 kids and I have 2 boys and 2 girls. Everybody does the dishes, everybody cooks. So you're not a boy, that you're not like, oh, I'm a boy, I can't make my breakfast, I can't make my eggs, I can't make, no. Everybody cooks, everybody does dishes, everybody sweeps. So if it's your turn, you're sweeping. The next person, being a girl or boy, is doing the dish. If it's your turn to be assisting whoever is cooking in the kitchen, then you have to do it. So it doesn't necessarily mean because I'm a boy, I can sit in the living room and watch Al Jazeera with daddy. No, if it's your turn, then you have to do what needs to be done. So I would encourage us as women to, to encourage the next woman that the table is a level playing ground. Come with your best foot forward, even at the place of work. Don't come and say, as many people have spoken, I think I noted it down, everybody spoke about it, about how, and even when Mimos talked about it. So it's not like I'm coming to work because I'm a woman, I should be treated a certain way. No, I remember when I was in the bank, I was pregnant with twins, and I know I go there to ask for some favors, and that's because of my health condition at that point. So I wasn't looking for pity. As young as I was then, I wasn't looking for pity. I was doing my job as a human, not as a woman. Yes, I love being a woman. I mean, I love the idea of being a woman. I love the fact that I can dress up. I feel the men are even jealous of us because we have a lot of enjoyment being women. So I think we should enjoy the gender that the Lord, the Noah, our Noah knows before he made us women. But that is not a place of pity. It's not from a place of pity or inequality. So for me, we are all equal. We have the same 24 hours. If as naturals, we have some certain time we need to go and incubate and give birth. It is just the way we are wired, the way we are made. But that doesn't mean that we have to start pitying ourselves and start feeling getting a sense of entitlement. No, if you study very well, I mean, I've been so proud of the women I've listened to, Ibade and Dr. Amal. I mean, I'm like, are these not girls? Are these not ladies? And they're making us proud. So having recognized that, this is just it's also good to recognize that this is just a minute number of the general view of women. There are lots of women that see themselves as disadvantaged. And it is our duty for those of us that have been privileged, those few of us, actually, we are actually very few, that have been privileged to get to the point of self-awareness, to know that it is not a disadvantage being a woman. So we are employing us to take this knowledge, tell the next woman. It gives me great joy to work with women, especially those of them that are feeling, my husband is supposed to do this, my husband is supposed to do this. Respect your husband, yes, but they are a human. If your husband is not there, want to take care of your children. I've even gone as blunt as telling some women, my friends that complain so much, I've gone as blunt as saying, why don't you imagine that you're a widow? Why don't you imagine that he's dead? So that you don't get to start asking for what is not there, and now thereby, losing touch in that happiness that you're supposed to exude, because there's a lot that comes from a place of joy. And if we start depending and start, throwing our joy to somebody said like Bobrisky, yes, Bobrisky jealous. I mean, we are proud. We have a very good gender, and people are very, very jealous of this gender we are in. So it is not from a place of disadvantage. So as women, please, we have this awareness. Those of us in this room, we have the awareness of being ladies, of being women. We should take this awareness and duplicate it in so many women that have been wallowing in self-pity and wallowing yes. But I have empathy, for women that have not discovered themselves. And I think it is our duty to share this awareness with others. Thank you.
Thank you, Priska. Thank you, Priska. Thank you so much. 15.
Hi. Disconnect. Hi.
Okay.
All right, so we're back.
Ejiro is not here yet. So, Priska, like I said, thank you so much. My contribution to that, my own is, I think that we play victimhood. I'm so happy that you said that you've not experienced, victimization, right? It's not because you've not experienced it, but I'll call that privilege, really. I'm not going to discount a lot of hardship and hindrances that women go through from when they were babies, right? But we've come through a lot. And if you look at history, our mothers are warriors. Like Clara said, lioness. Do you understand? Some of these things are personal. We have to stop this victimhood thing we do. Stop being a victim. Stop being a victim. That war has been fought. It's not all the wars it's not everything that is a battle. There's some battles that have been won. So we all need to learn how to step into our power as women. Some of these men, like before those things, before they did that, they didn't take permission. Men that were around there, nobody will be doing 10 o'clock meeting. Nobody. But the thing is, now that we want women in the workplace, we all have to try to include the kind of lifestyle women have and the responsibility women have. So if you cannot go to a 10 p.m. meeting, you are not weak. They did not consider you when they were planning it. You could not go there because somebody had to take care of, because of childcare and adult care. Ibade shared McKinsey report. Is it Ibade of women, or is it Daphne in the early stages of the office? 48% of the women of the workforce are women. By the time you get to the management, you have 20%. By the time you get to the board, you have 10%. If men can accommodate you at the entry level at 48%, because now we're talking about parity in the workplace, why all of a sudden are they not accommodating us at management and board? It's because of domestic responsibilities, which we have all not accommodated. So even us as women, we need to accommodate ourselves and know that this thing, it cannot work for you. When you're married and you're trying to employ, maybe you want to employ someone, like someone said, and you find out that she's getting married, it's not because of only that she's going to have a child. It's because she might be going through fertility issues, hormonal issues that is going to affect the work. And your bias is already saying that if she comes in now, she'll probably run into the hospital. She's probably doing this. She's probably crying because she's not yet pregnant yet. You're going to be dealing with that. So we have that, but we must learn to accommodate it. Victimhood is too much for us. I think we can go, if the women have done so much, they just did not own up. A number of the rocket scientists were women. The first person to design fully and write the code of a personal computer was a woman. But all these people were silent. They did not call their names. A lot of women were authors in the early days, and they used pseudo men's names because then they were killing them. But you see, I go like, if we're supposed to be natural and they've been shouting our name that women are natural, who taught the men to hate women? Let's ask ourselves that question, because we need to own part of this bias that we're talking about. We need to own part of this culture that we're talking about. We are the custodians of culture. Because when you talk about women, a woman in the office that is pregnant, that is having problem, and you want to take a leave to go to the hospital, you might find the man saying, please go carry your wala and go. And you might find the other woman saying, what's wrong with you? I was pregnant now. I walked till my last day. What's all this wala? It might be that woman that will stop her. The fact that your pregnancy was easy does not mean another person's pregnancy is not easy. Your job in every room is to represent. And a lot of us do not know that. We have many women that in the room, yes, you see that I was the only woman here, I was the only woman there. Yes, let's clap for ourselves that you are the first woman to enter that door. But please, if you continue to be the only woman in that room, we can't continue to clap for you. And if you leave that space without pulling people up to enter that room, without sending the lift back down, without sending the escalator back down, it is on you. We can't clap for you, please. Because your job is, as you have entered that room and they allowed you, you have to make a case for the other woman outside. And it's not your job to be saying, you must tick all the boxes before I bring you in. But what does that mean? When men bring others in, do they tick all the boxes? The women are always thinking that you have to be overqualified. Like in the US now, a Supreme Court judge that they are drilling a black woman, they are drilling so that she can be a justice. But she's overqualified. And if you see how they are drilling her, you think they are begging her. She's overqualified. Everybody that is interviewing her, she has double of all their qualifications, and yet she's still questioned. This is on us. There's only so much we can call this bias. Women are the custodians of culture. Clara said, it is in us. It is in us to break it. Priska said, everybody in our home does everything. And that is what we should do. I tell my friends with males, because I have 2 girls, and I'll tell my friends that have males, and I say, look, my children are not going to marry your children if you do not treat your boys, because I cannot be training a future wife and you will not be training a future husband. You cannot be leaving your my children will not, if you look at, because my girls are very beautiful. I mean, I love their, I don't even know how they came out of my body, but they are beautiful. Anybody that's seen my girls, and they are very intelligent, award-winning girls. So I am going to pick their husbands for them, and starting from their parents. Because I cannot allow anybody to maltreat my children. After I have taken time to train them to be successful as human beings, to be prayerful, and to be, good wives and homekeepers, then you will just be leaving your son to be doing, I want to be a doctor, and that's the end. You don't know how to take care of the house. It is on us now. Let's stop joking around. And the women that are in the cultural places, like Diola said, all these women that you go there in Ife, they don't want, some of them, it is personal thing. They see their men now. The men have association and they are adding new innovation and technology to improve their work ethics. The women are there sitting down there and guarding tradition. This is how my mother did it. This is how my grandfather did it. What are you talking about? Let's stop faffing around. This is on us. Each and every one of us in this room, and indirectly the people that are not here, that we have influence over, let's tell ourselves the truth. Because the wicked mother-in-law is us. Look at us here. The wicked sister-in-law is here. Look at us here. Those that are blocking the doors. I know a friend in the corporate environment that they were together at a level, and once one of them got up at the head of that place, amongst other men, everybody expected her to pull the other woman in her circle, and she did not. She did not. This woman was qualified, but she got other guys to come in to her. We need to treat ourselves like animals do. Animals that hunt in groups. Once a woman is there, we have to gather. Someone talked about us ganging around. We need to gather. We need to protect that woman's position, and we need to also make sure we are around. And you that you are at the top, you must put your women around you, because representation matters. Let me tell you, men will not discriminate against you because you're a woman, but because you don't look like them, you cannot come and play golf with them, you cannot come and drink with them. So it is not on purpose. We all gravitate, like now, you gravitate towards your church members. You gravitate towards your, other mothers, so that because you have something in common. Why will they gravitate towards you, Biko? Just tell me. Why? It is not a thing of pride to say, I am only the woman there. After a long time. The first day you got that position, yes. Afterwards, what happened? How many women did you open the door for? Because men have a way of filling the room. In the workplace, I tell people, you need, as a woman, this woman, Sherry Lambert, and the other woman in the ex-chairman of Pepsi, they talked about in the workplace, and how because they were leaders in that workplace, they were able to get some advantages for them. That's nonsense. What of the other women? The head of Pepsi was bringing her children to school, to her room, to her office after work. You know that it is important for that to happen. Why didn't you put a crèche in the office? You are writing your story when you left work. You are writing how difficult it is to be a mother and all the support services that helped you because you were the head. And you were in the position to represent women and you did not. We're talking about parity in the workplace. Most of the people in HR is dominated by women. Let's be truthful to ourselves. HR is dominated by women. Who are they representing and how are they speaking for us to change? Yes, thank you, Indira Noyi. How are they representing us to change how the workplace is? If you're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion in all this and the biases that come with it, you want the office, you want to start employing handicap. You want to employ someone that is visually impaired. You cannot tell the person that you must brace up and use all the facilities in the office. No, you're going to put a ramp so that they can roll in their what they call it, a wheelchair. You are going to increase the width of the door so that the wheelchair can go in and out. You are going to expand your lifts. You are going to create a toilet for them because they cannot use the normal toilets. This is what inclusion is about. You can't bring a blind man to come and work for you and there's no way he can use his cane to move around your office. You are not inclusive. You cannot bring a blind man and you are now having you are sending information out and there's no audio in it. The same thing of women. If the men had made the office for them and you now want to bring women in, you need to accommodate and include what women need. What do women need to be able to work as efficiently as men? The only thing we are seeing today is pool table. What does pool table mean? Excuse me, what does pool table mean? HR people, what does pool table mean? And you put pool table in the office and they are showing it and you're feeling like you have accomplished. Women need more than pool table. We need a room to express. If you come to my office, it's like a daycare. My children grew up here. My staff children grew up here. As soon as I can afford a creche, we will put a creche in. Because women need that. If her child is not in the office with her mind is not in what she's doing. Let me tell you, her mind is not there. Let's not joke. She's going to come up with a lie and tell you that she's going for a meeting to see a client, but she has gone to see her child. We need to be able to understand these things and know that we own the change. To a large extent, we can do it. Because when you look at a female genital mutilation, who are the people cutting clitoris? Is it men that are carrying blades to cut clitoris? Let's be truthful to ourselves. Is it not our grandmother that are cutting our children's clitoris? We don't have to be speaking low tone, so it won't be as if we're breaking tables. It's the fact. It is the women that are what? Cutting the clitoris. So let us tell ourselves, if we want to stop cutting clitoris, we have to tell ourselves, stop cutting clitoris. That's it. If you do not want to be victimized in our husband's home, then let's tell ourselves, as a sister-in-law, leave your brother's house alone. As a mother-in-law, leave your daughter's, your husband, son's daughter alone. We are the wicked mother-in-law now. We are the wicked sister-in-law. We are the wicked one in the office. It is that is how it is. I own it. If I own it, I know how to change it. I don't believe in equality. I believe in equity. Because I believe equity can get me more. A man, if the men are already complaining. Why are you giving women more opportunities? Why are we having women leader? Why are we having Women Day? It's because of equity, not equality. If we're talking of equality, we will not have women leader. We will have women leader and men leader. If we're talking of equality, we will not have maternity leave. We will have our normal leave like the men do, and everybody is happy because it's equal. But equity requires you to give me more, to give me 6 months, because I need it. Equity recognizes my needs, my personal unique needs because of who I am as a woman. Equity recognizes that. And for the gender bill in Nigeria that did not go through because the people there wanted you to remove equality and put equity. And people were fighting it. They said that they don't want equity there, that they want equality. And that was why that gender bill didn't go. And I was like, we don't have representation in that house. If we did, we would know that we can fight more for equity. Equity will get us far more than equality. If not, the men will be telling you every day, me too, I want a special thing like you. We have Ministry of Women Affairs all over the country. Do we have Ministry of Men Affairs? We don't. Is that equality? No. During the war, they put women and children aside. They said women and children should not fight. Is that equality? That's equity. If we are fighting for equality and they give us that gender bill and they say everything is equal, during the war, they will not allow you to be separate. You will wear a khaki and they will give you gun. So we have to know what we are fighting for and not be sentimental about words, because these things are going to affect us. And also stop playing victim. Then own it. I will say it again, HR companies are dominated by women. And if at the end of the day, we have not been able to change stereotype and change the way the work is, then it's on us. We need to own it. It is on us. The mothers that are churning out irresponsible men, own it. Yes, the fathers are there too. They are there, but they're the role we too we play. Own your role. Let the father too, irresponsible father, own his role. But we need to start doing that. The doors are open. A lot politics is going on. Some forms are free. Some forms have been discounted for women, including me. I have not applied. When they finish that election, all of us will be saying, only 2 women are inside. We'll be among those that are pointing. No, but no woman now. All of you are men here. How many of us said, I'm stepping forward? I have to own this thing. This thing is our fault too. How many of us are stepping forward to represent our people? As doctors, I always push that we should push women into the, because I won't go and see a male doctor. I can't stand it. The experience I've had, they'll use every opportunity to lie down. They want to inspect you. Anytime you go, they lie down. They want to inspect you. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I can count the time that I went to the hospital when I was pregnant. Yes. My doctor's hands were, my gynae's hand was like twice this. And every day, lie down, I want to see you. Yes, now. So I would rather female doctors. And as a Muslim, you know, when people, and even those women from the north, they say don't go to school, don't go to school. But yet you want to go to hospital and your wife wants to stay a female doctor. My friend, will you send your girls to school, let them be doctors? Otherwise, nobody will check your wife. So we look at how we need to encourage ourselves and own some things.
Yeah. So
I will encourage people to go into medicine, encourage people to go into this, because that's the person I want to check me. If a woman says, I had a gynae problem for almost 2 years, I'm telling you, I didn't go to the hospital. Because every time I call them, I say, when is the female doctor coming in? They'll tell me, we don't have a female doctor on staff yet. It took almost 1.5 years. Because I didn't want to open up for a man to check me. Like this, touching you everywhere, doing there, open it here, open, raise up, do this. And you know, the first time I took my husband there, it was horrible. I felt horrible. My husband was just kicking the hand of the doctor, kicking the hand of like, who is this? Oh, God, calm down. Let him do what he wants to do. Do you understand? After that, I didn't do it again. You know, so please, we are different from men. We are not the same as men. Like everybody said, I love to be a woman. We have so many advantages. Let's fight for equity in the workplace and in our own homes. We add to it. A lot of us are influential to our men. We're influential to the president. We are girlfriends now. We're not the girlfriends of the senators. Rub their head and tell them what to change. Rub their head and tell them the road to fix. We have power. The greatest wars in the world, if you read the stories of the war, is over a girlfriend that they're all fighting for. So many of it. Why did she use her power for war? She could have used that power for something else. So thank you, Clara. We need to look inwards. We need to own this thing. If we do not own it and stand in our power, I kid you not, we can't change it. We'll just be looking to the men to say, when are you going to do this for us? Men don't care. From those that I have mixed with over the years, they don't care. Their discrimination is the same discrimination as the other woman. It's human to them. The day you push, you know where you're going, they'll open the door for you. I've had so many men lift me up. They will open the door for you. They're always excited for the other gender in the room sometimes. And if they want to meet at night, it's okay. If I don't want to meet at night, it's okay. My friends know me. After 7 o'clock, everything shuts down. I hardly do nights. Everything shuts down after 7 o'clock. I can't stand it. What are you doing during the day? Let's meet. But if there's a reason for me to go, if I can go with my husband, I go. And if I can't go with my husband, I won't go. This doesn't have anything to do with because I'm a woman. It's because that's what I want. Life is not hard. It's soft life, I master. So please, parity in the office is all of us. All of us. This thing, let's own it. Don't point finger to anybody. Let's own this thing.
Thank you. Thank
Jamie,
you very
go
much.
ahead.
I'm here. Thank you so much. You have spoken with so much passion and you have broken the tables. Like I'm seeing different comments here. I said you have broken the table and there is no table left.
Jamie, are you with us?
I'm here with you.
We can see you, but your voice is not coming on, Jamie.
I'm speaking. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 I can hear you, but I'm surprised you can't hear me. Okay, so they will work on this in a few minutes, but I can hear you. Please, if you can hear me, just indicate by just waving your hand if you can hear me. Wow. Oh, somebody help.
We can hear you a bit, but you're breaking. We can hear you a bit, but you're breaking. Is Dio here? Well, women are not fit for.
Well, the truth is that women have actually broken that. I think somebody mentioned about not having women drivers. I've been opportune to call a ride, and even here in Lagos, before Lagos, in New York City, I've been able to call a ride 5 out of 10 times. It's a woman that is coming, is driving by or is parking, pulling to the park to be.
Let me process it.
It's chronic game. It's not fair.
Blue is better. I have blue here. It's on. The hotspot is on. It's still the same thing.
Have you switched to blue?
Yes.
I thought okay.
Men are doing more gynecological, playing more gynecological roles as against how it's supposed. I think it's supposed to be that okay, women know their anatomy better, and a woman is more comfortable for another woman to touch her than to see a man touch her. Really, myself inclusive, I don't really want a man touching me except I'm in labor. When I'm in labor, the pain supersedes the caution and all that. So I would actually rather prefer a woman see me. So I don't think there's any gap, but necessarily for being the weaker self, weaker in physique, not. Let me just answer about this question. He said, if you don't mind a personal question, do your children do chores during school time? Yes, they do chores every day. My son is preparing for WAEC, but that does not mean that you just have, because I also redid WAEC and I still did my home. My mom does not know whether you're doing what you have to. They just give you a bit of allowance, but that does not mean that I won't cook. I won't do all the things. My children does everything. My son is preparing for JAM, GCS, all those exams, WAEC and everything, but you still come and say, mommy, I'm preparing for JAM. I'm not supposed to be doing the dishes. How many minutes will it take you to do the dishes? So you have to still do it. The only time is excuse is if you have a cut in your finger or something. So, and like 2 days ago, my youngest son is 10 years old, and he had a cut. He was trying to open a can of sardines and he had a very tiny cut. Then his twin sister was like, I cannot stand it for him, just the cut is very small. Those I can permit because I said, okay, you have to assist because I paired them up with the older ones. The twins are paired up with either of the first and second. So And for such kind of cases, of course, I understand. Maybe during exams proper, I may consider, but for school term, no, of course, they come back and they do their chores. So when they were in boarding house, they're excused, but now everybody's in day school and they come and they do their chores. So I want to actually grow that, because I know that from our African perspective, there's this thing, like, and I think my husband has that, and I don't want that to pass down, like why so and so is doing that. So okay, just imagine here I can afford to have someone that lives with me that can assist or cook or something. So imagine we go on holiday. There was a time we went on holiday, and you don't go with, and you don't, I'm not that wealthy to go on holiday with a nanny yet, so you go on holiday abroad, you just have to be self-sufficient. So in such conditions, everybody has to cook. So, and sometimes I have maybe exams I'm preparing for, or I have an assignment. I let them burn the rice the way they want to boil it and bring it. I will eat it. If you can eat it, I also manage to eat it. So that's how it has been for me. And for me, it's deliberate, really, because it's very, very, I make them know how to also use their hands to wash. We have a washing machine, but I want them to just, I don't like that entitlement feeling, so that tomorrow when they get married, they especially the boys, they get married, they're able to know that I can assist my wife. We can share chores. You can cook today and I cook tomorrow. I can cook for you if I arrive home earlier than you did. So that is for me what it is. Then for the workplace, really, I have worked and I have worked before I became an entrepreneur. And the truth is, I enjoyed some certain benefits, but I didn't get that, because you're a woman, you must necessarily, I know that we as women,